All right, what's going on, everybody? As you can tell by the title, we got to talk about Dandadan. Dandadan had a good chapter, but I have some mixed feelings. Fortunately, everyone seems to really like today's chapter. Again, confirming that all of the doubts with the amnesia trope have pretty much gone away. Nobody's really worried about it anymore. But I do feel like this chapter could have played out better, but I feel like the more I think about it, the more I like it. I wasn't crazy about it at first, but that's why I want to talk about it. And I also feel like after the stream, I'm going to like it even more. Something to point out though is this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. And we're going to get into what I mean. But basically, as soon as the whole amnesia trope thing was official, I said what's going to happen next is Okarun and Momo are basically going to relive episode 1, chapter 1 all over again. And that's kind of what happened today. Not beat for beat, but pretty much this was a repeat of chapter 1 of episode 1. While it's on my mind, we saw Okarun's afro perm in the flashback. Yeah, I was thinking about that. You know what's funny is in the anime, they have not given him this hairstyle yet, I don't think. In the anime, they give him his, like, yeah, I guess perm, right? Not like perm, but like his, I guess, cooler haircut. It makes me wonder if they're waiting until season 3 to change his haircut to this stuff. Because there's the whole conversation of like seasons 1 and seasons 2 were really meant to be one season. So if you're of that opinion, then it makes sense why they wouldn't have changed his hair in the second season if season 2 was really just season 1 part 2. But yeah, the Okarun haircut conversation is a interestingly peculiar one, but one that I will always have. We got Siddharth in chat. How you doing, Siddharth? We got Justin. How you doing, Justin? Justin, you got your Bears playing tonight. You think they have a shot in hell? Or you think they're gonna be number 2 to smoke the Bills after the Patriots? Huh? We're doing pretty good. We got Eden's in chat. Eden's also reminding me that if you're an Adventure Time fan, they just dropped the trailer for Fiona and Cake season 2, which looks dope. So this year proving again that October really is almost always the best month of the year when it comes to stuff to watch. We got Wano in chat. How you doing, Wano? How am I doing? I'm doing good, actually. I started to veer off for a second. The reason I started the stream like 3 minutes late was because I was actually making gravy before the stream. I had some time to kill. So I was like, you know what? I got chicken. I got mashed potatoes. You know what I don't have? Is some goddamn gravy. So I made some goddamn gravy. So it's on the oven top, cooling off right now. Probably gonna poop the bed, to be honest. I hope they win. Part of me wants the Bears to win just to prove that like they can, but and you know, to throw Bears fans a bone, but I also don't want to see the Bills lose back to back. Excuse me. I don't want to see them lose back to back because they are a good team and I really like Josh Allen. So I don't know. I'm definitely, I think it's going to be a good game. Am I keeping up with the My Hero anime? Because episode 2 is really good as a manga reader. I haven't been watching it. I'm going to try and watch it. So first, I'm going to rewatch all of Dandadan in dub, because I've never watched the dub. Then I'm going to catch up on Gachi Akata. Then I'll probably start watching My Hero. But we'll see. Drake May might be top 10 already. So something that Tom Brady said on Fox yesterday, half joking but half serious, was Drake May is in a really good position to succeed because not only does he have Stephon Diggs, but he also has Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, the tight end they have, has been putting in work. So Patriots, they got the right coach. They got the right players now, thankfully. So they just got to stay consistent and they'll make playoffs. The dub for Dandadan is really good. I switched about halfway through. I like, my approach is I like to watch the sub. And then if I really like the show enough to rewatch it, or enough people hype up the dub specifically, I'll go back and watch the dub. We got Oscar in chat. How you doing, Oscar? Oscar, what did you think of today's chapter? Gachi Akata is going peak. Yeah, it's a shame about the openings, though. I'm not gonna lie. They like... It was a swing and a miss with the first opening because the song was good, but the visuals sucked. And then this time, the visuals are better and the song sucks. So it's like, what are we doing here, Bones? Like, are we... You gotta look at a studio like Studio Bones and be like, bro, you've done this. Like, you've literally done this. It's like playing Pokemon Emerald 20 times, right? Like playing Pokemon Emerald for 20 years, and then you go to play it for like the 100th time and you lose at the first gym. It's like, bro, you've done this. You have literally done this. Where is the confusion? You almost want to like take Studio Bones by the shoulders and be like, you have done this. You have so many good openings. What are you doing? What's the confusion? What's the hubaloo? No. What's the confusion? What's going on here? I've seen people say they prefer this opening. It's 50-50. If you like, I guess, more cryptic, esoteric visuals and a good song, then the first opening is better. But if you like, you know, colorful, bright visuals and you don't really care about the song, then this visual is better. I will say, I've noticed some nice Easter eggs, I guess, fanfare in the second opening. Like somebody pointed out on Twitter, somebody pointed out there's a pair of boots with tulips in them in this opening, and that's a reference to the reunion of Rudo and Amo, when Rudo gets Amo flowers to be like, hey, sorry I was a dick. That's really cool. Did you like the chapter today? I'm kind of indifferent about it. I wasn't crazy about it at first, but I think that's because Tatsu set up someone like me, someone with certain expectations going into the chapter, to be disappointed because he's deliberately trying to subvert expectations. My thoughts on Sandasai and Saru. Haven't watched it yet. Probably won't watch it. It just doesn't really seem like a show I want to watch at the moment. If I see enough hype for it, I'll check it out. But it's one of those situations where, like, if I don't really find myself interested in the manga, then I'm probably not that interested in the anime. And like, I don't think I heard anyone hype up the manga really until the anime came out. Oscar says the music and animation were good in opening 1 and 2. What are you talking about? The visuals were good in the first opening, but they weren't the right kind of visuals for an opening, especially for like a season opening. An opening, especially like your first one, should be like crazy visuals, like very bright, very flashy, and it should be like visually stunning. They kind of did that with the first opening, but they made it very abstract and like way too vague unless you have context about the shows. So it doesn't really capture new fans, as opposed to like the first Mob Psycho opening, also very abstract and very weird, but in a way where it makes you want to find out more, or you get like some idea, as opposed to that first Gachi Akata opening where like you don't even know what you're looking at. Chapter was fine, but nothing crazy. Okarun, you can do it. Yeah, that's how I felt at first, but I'm liking it more. I was slightly disappointed. Tyler says he likes the Dandadan dub more. Okay. I can't believe Okarun didn't even hit Momo with the Ken Takakura. Tatsu's definitely trolling, because he had Okarun call himself Ken in third person? First person? I don't know. He called himself by his first name like 20 times, right? Which, like, I feel like is hinting at the fact that he's gonna say his name out loud at the right moment. Plans on seeing the Chainsaw Man movie. I'll probably watch it if they put it on streaming. I do want to see it. It's just like, to be honest, I'm not crazy about movie theaters anymore. At least in my area, they're always gross. They don't clean up. You look at the floor, they're covered in like popcorn and snacks and wrappers. And especially with anime movies, I hate to sound like that guy, but like you can't even enjoy the movie because people talk during the movie. They have to clap at like every scene. They have to like yell at the movie. It's like going to the Minecraft movie. It's like I'd rather just watch it at home if I really want to watch it that bad. How did Gwyn Saga look? Your thoughts compared to Berserk? I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet. Was disappointed in how Okarun was built up to be courageous at the end of last chapter. In this whole chapter, he was being a wuss. Yeah, I felt that way too, but by the end of the chapter, I was like, oh, that was the point, right? And well, we're going to talk about that because I've already read the chapter. I want to go through it again now that I have had time to think about it today. Eden says, I appreciate Tatsu taking this slow. I went to Demon Slayer movie and a dude had his kid playing some shit on their phone loudly. I was rows away from them and could hear it. It's like going to see a kid's movie. It sucks. It's like going to see the Minecraft movie. You can't enjoy it. I think Kinta is plotting to make his move on Momo. Not really. Like, not seriously. I mean, we saw it happen this chapter. He said, oh, I should go see Momo. And they're like, well, she's not okay. And then he's like, all right, well, let's go talk to Okarun. Like, everybody knows at this point, like, Momo and Okarun, it's a thing. Oscar said he's going to see the Chainsaw Man movie at the end of the month when it's dropped in Poland. Yeah, I'd love to go see it, but again, I don't want to listen to people yell at the movie, and honestly, I would rather just watch it at home because movie theaters are kind of gross. They didn't used to be that way, but today they are. I think saying Ken Takakura will be too easy for Okarun and make this arc kind of pointless. He should prove that he can get Momo back without the whole trick, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Especially now. Excuse me. Especially now where we've gone through this whole dance of like Okarun accidentally stalking Momo and like them having a whole pep talk and like, okay, he's gonna do it. If he does it now, like right now, now it's gonna make the characters look stupid. But if he does everything he needs to, earns that moment, and like in the moment you're like, all right, he did it, and then he says it, it's like icing on the cake. That would be different. Okarun's mistake was not confronting Momo in front of Miko and Muko. I do find it kind of weird that Miko and Muko haven't really talked to Okarun this chapter. I said it in the video I dropped today. They have like a weirdly casual relationship to Okarun where like they are friends, but like they are textbook mutual friends where like minus the one time they went out of their way to grab Okarun to go see Momo, they never hang out, right? Like that's not a thing. But you see many instances where like they're thinking about Okarun, right? They defend Okarun when he's not there, and they take an interest in Okarun's interests. So while they're not like best friends with Okarun, they do like him and they do think about him. So the fact that like they haven't really done anything to help Okarun isn't concerning yet, but if by the end of all this they haven't done anything, for me it'll be a letdown because it's like consistently what they've done. What did somebody say about US cinema? Only time I've been to the theater was for the Dandadan Evil Eye arc movie. It was a great experience. This whole thing with Minecraft stuff and gross thing never happened to me. So I'm going to give you a perfect example of why I don't really feel comfortable at movie theaters anymore. So somebody brought up AMC. I'm going to tell you exactly why I really don't feel comfortable at AMC theaters anymore. My local AMC theater, which has been around forever, they had to close it for like 2 weeks because there were rats in the popcorn. You know how like you go to the candy station, right? Like the concession stand, and the popcorn is like in a booth, like a glass box in the booth. Yeah, apparently there were rats just hanging out in the popcorn and they had to shut the place down. And now it's open again for like 2 weeks, or it was closed for like 2 weeks and they opened it back up, excuse me. You can look it up. I'll tell you right now, if you're interested in the story. Look up, it was on CBS News. Look up Methuen Movie Theater closed, or Methuen Movie Theater, Methuen AMC, rodent rat problem. It's disgusting. And the reason is, it's the same problem with every company, with every restaurant, with just corporate America in general, or companies in general, is there's like a real bad just like management problem and training problem where like people don't like take care of their businesses. Like you just go to any business that isn't like a mom and pop business now, and it's disgusting because people aren't working there, you know, to work there. They're working there to clock in and clock out. And what that means for movie theaters is like, if you don't go at 8 o'clock in the morning or, you know, right after close, there's popcorn and candy all over the floor. The seats are sticky. It's disgusting. The bathrooms are filthy too. It's like, why would I go watch a movie when I don't even know that the popcorn is safe to eat? When I can just put on sweatpants, get under the covers in my own bed, in my own couch, and watch a movie without people shouting at every character when they come on the screen. That's why movies are dead. Because people realized streaming killed movies, but only because movie theaters ruin themselves. And it's partly a corporate America issue, because it's not like streaming like saved everyone. Because look at everyone complaining about streaming, right? Nobody actually likes the like the order of streaming. Like people like streaming because they can pay for what they want to watch, but nobody likes the fact that you watch your bill for streaming go up like literally every month. But that just shows how little people like movie theaters, because people would rather do that. They would rather piss away money basically than go to a movie theater, because they're disgusting and the people who work there don't want to be there. Just like the people who work at Dunkin' Donuts don't want to be there. Excuse me, the people who work at Chipotle don't want to be there, right? Think of every chain. Nobody wants to be there. So like, why would I want to go there? Anyway, that was my movie rant. Next time you wonder why I really don't like going to movie theaters, that's why. Is the Dune popcorn bucket the greatest novelty bucket of all time? I don't know. I haven't seen the Dune movies. I got the one for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the one with Sonic and Shadow. That one's pretty cool. Yeah. It sounds like a Bachelor episode. Would I ever go on an episode of The Bachelorette? Probably not. I'm not crazy about reality TV. Popcorn, even without rodent problems, popcorn in the US probably isn't safe to eat. I mean, I've worked at restaurants where we serve popcorn and it's like the same as movie popcorn. So I can tell you exactly what goes into popcorn. It's just popcorn kernels that you drop in the machine. And then they don't do butter. Some places, like if you've seen the Trash Taste clip, some places out west, actually, they give you the option to put lard on your popcorn, which is like, come on, what are we doing? What was I gonna say? Oh, so it's usually canola oil, believe it or not. So people always ask, like, how do you make good popcorn? You know what the secret is? It's the salt. Like, you could make good popcorn without any butter, but you don't need like a ton of butter. You just need like enough to like, ironically, just glaze it, right? But you don't need that much butter. Really, all the flavor of good popcorn is in the salt. When I worked at a restaurant and we served popcorn as like a, you know, instead of bread, we did popcorn. We used, it was basically like seasoned salt. You know, the salt you can get at the grocery store that's like kind of orange, right? That's what you got to use. Just like good salt. That's all it is. But the only reason popcorn at movie theaters is disgusting is if they don't clean the popcorn machine and then the box where they put the popcorn, which is exactly why you have rats hanging out in the popcorn, because like nobody's emptied it out and cleaned it in like weeks, which is disgusting. When I worked at this restaurant and we made popcorn, you clean that thing every night. Like at the end of the day, that thing got cleaned every night. Trampoline or cornhole? Which one would I bring to the cookout? Because I don't want to break my leg, probably cornhole. As much as I love a trampoline, I'm not trying to break my legs. Putting lard on popcorn sounds like some Vegas type stuff. I've never heard of that. I've never gone to a movie theater and seen lard, but apparently the Trash Taste crew went to movie theaters out west, like maybe LA or something, I don't know, and you could get lard on your popcorn. I think that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. That's like putting cheese whip on a hot dog. That's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, now that I've gone on this rant about movie theaters, let's look at the Dandadan chapter, but let me answer Oscar real quick. You see memes about Kaido eating his devil fruit with that big little brother smile? It's funny. No, I haven't seen that. Did that like just go trending today? I've never seen that. Yeah, Skins, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to, I'm glad somebody brought it up. I might have to put you on timeout here if you don't stop spamming these generic questions about Massachusetts, because you do it every stream, and I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of making me feel like you're a bot. So if you're a bot, it's kind of concerning. You really trust what Trash Taste has to say? I mean, like anybody else on the internet, I take it with a grain of salt, but I absolutely believe that at some places in the US, you can put lard on your popcorn. I don't really get, I get it, but I don't really support it. I don't like the mass bias against the Trash Taste guys. I think there's a weird trend in the anime community where like when people get big or popular, all of a sudden, like they're suddenly out of touch. Garnt I like, Giguk I like. He's like the one that if I had to pick one, I like him the most. Connor is cool, but I feel like he has like the most casual opinions, which is not a crime. It's just he's kind of an anime casual, I feel like. And then Joey is Joey. Like if I could pick one person to like just not be in that group, it would be Joey. I like Joey. I think he's cool, but I feel like he is the most flip-flop person I've ever seen. Like they had a clip, I think it was today or yesterday, about like anime in 2005 versus anime in 2025. And like he just made like a really vague statement about anime, and I'm like thinking about it out of context, and I'm like, he didn't really say anything. Better casual than tourist? That's the thing, is like there's nothing wrong with being casual. Like it's kind of hypocritical of people to say like, oh, I don't really watch anime anymore, or like I don't really watch as much anime as I used to. And then when somebody has casual opinions because they don't watch anime as much as they used to, suddenly everyone's like, oh, well, that guy's an asshole. Like, that guy's an idiot, is whatever. That's so stupid. How could you think that? It's like, if you only watch anime like once a week and you only watch like 5 anime, right? Like, even watching 5 anime out of every season, that's more than most people. Most people only watch like 1 anime. So yeah, I don't really support the trash taste hate. I like those guys. Obviously they do have some questionable takes sometimes, and I don't agree with everything they say, but I think they're cool. Bro did not actually have the courage to go up to her. Mimi, I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to talk about that now that I've addressed chat. What anime am I excited for 2026? JJK, Frieren. I want to say Witch Hat. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Anyway, let's talk about today's Dandadan chapter after 30 or so minutes. I mostly watch 10 minimum anime per season. See, you guys got me beat. I read more manga than I watch anime, so that's me with manga. The reason being, you can read way more manga in the same time it takes to watch anime. That's just how that works. Anyway, so we cut into today's chapter exactly where last week's chapter ended. Okarun is doing the Dio walk, basically, right? To go find Momo, which very awkward, but very in character walk. He's like speed walking while he holds a single lens of his glasses. So he goes to Momo's class. He finds Momo and her friends hanging out with Gigi. And this was kind of the first reason I didn't like today's chapter, because it felt like there was a bit of regression for Okarun, because I feel like in the Evil Eye arc, we had already watched Okarun overcome his insecurities about like Momo not really liking him as much as he liked her. And it feels like this was happening again. But the later the explanation we get at the end of the chapter kind of makes me not hate this scene so much. But the reason I didn't like this was because it felt like we were back to square one, which makes sense again, because Momo has the amnesia and we're kind of going through the steps again. But it felt like for Okarun, who has not lost his memories, it felt like a bit of character regression. Okarun is heartbroken. Yeah, that was the redeeming part of this chapter for sure. Last season, I was over 45 anime. Like, what do you do, right? Like, how do you watch that much anime? I mean, I'm not saying that to be a jerk. That's like something I aspire to. But, I mean, that's nuts. That's crazy. So yeah, Okarun sees Momo hanging out. She's happy. He leaves. He says, now's not a good time. All right. Momo notices him, and she seems to blush. Then we cut to Kinta hanging out with Vamola and Rin. This is what I like about there being 2 different classes, is like there's kind of subgroups in our main group, right? Like, you know how in My Hero there's like class 1A, but class 1A isn't just class 1A. There's like the Bakugo group. There's the Jiro and what's her name group, right? There's Deku's group of like him, Ochiko, and Ida, right? Like, they're not cliques, but they're subgroups is what I would call them. And I feel like that's a good sign of a great cast, right? Is that there's like subgroups, and that like the group functions in separate parts. Like not everyone has to be together all the time for it to work. So something I like about the Dandadan cast is like there's subgroups. And now that I say that, I feel like that would be a good idea for a video. I just don't know how I would do that. I feel like that would be a tough video to make, but if I did make it, I would have a lot of fun making that, because I feel like that's a really unexplored idea in TV shows. When was the last time Okarun's balls were mentioned? Excuse me. Probably... I don't know. That's a good question, because probably before Turbo Granny left, because he's had both of them since she left. So yeah, there's really been no reason to bring it up since then. The insecurity of Okarun is valid, because if he... Because what would he say? I mean, that's not to sound like a jerk, but like that's how conversation works, right? Like you don't know what to say, you say something, and then the conversation just starts, right? I mean, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I'm not really great at the whole interacting thing myself, but I'd say you meet people, you don't know them, and then you talk, and now you know them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. My predictions on the final antagonist of Dandadan? I don't know. It's too early to say. We need more chapters of the side characters fighting without Momo and Okarun being around. I don't know how often that's going to happen, because I feel like there's so many characters now, it's kind of impossible for them to not be at least in the peripheral. The one time I feel like this has happened is with Gigi, because Momo was in the other room, right? And she was kind of out of thought, and Okarun was like nowhere to even be talked about. We got Toad Sage. What's going on, Toad Sage? Long time no see. How are we feeling about today's chapter? I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It was good. It's setting up better things, but I wasn't crazy about it. Dude, if I was like that, then I'd have to watch Togen Anki, and this will be terrible. I hear very mixed things about that show. Can anyone tell me, like, what they like or dislike about that show? The only thing I've seen of that show is that, like, apparently it's just, like, very over the top. Should Tatsu go monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly? I mean, he's weekly now, and it's one of the, like, it's one of the most consistent manga ever. Not just, like, in modern manga, but just, like, ever. So I wouldn't change a thing. I think going monthly would be stupid, honestly. Imagine if Turbo Granny returns and we'll teach Okarun again, but this time it will not be about powers, but how to get a girl. Remember, she's an old grandma. She has experience. I feel like that would be funny, but I don't know. I also don't know, like, what to expect from Turbo Granny, because she's been gone for so long at this point that, like, we have seen her in the volume extra chapters, but, like, we don't really know what she's up to. So I don't know how she's going to get reintroduced into the story and for what purpose. There's nothing good about Togen Anki other than it's almost funny how bad it is. Togen Anki is not just bad, it's absolutely terrible. What is Togen Anki? I have no idea. I thought it was just like an action series, but every time I see clips, it's just like characters with like cartoonishly big boobs and like, I don't know, just like a bunch of nonsense happening. So it doesn't really seem like a show I want to watch, but people keep talking about it, and yeah, it's there. I hear there's crazy fan service and it's extremely generic shonen. So it's basically, nah, I'm not going to say it. I was about to get myself roasted by everybody. Plus, I wouldn't have really believed what I was about to say. So anyway, so something to point out is Kenta says, Miss Ayase is back in action. I must go present myself to her. She must be absolutely dying to see me. Rin says, calm down. She wouldn't be that keen to see you. Kenta's like, whoa, what are you doing? And then Rin, being the mature person she is, says, Momo's confused. She's nervous. It's best if we just like let her acclimate. Kenta says, all right, fine. I hear you. In that case, we need to go see Okarun. So something to point out about Kenta, right? Was I going to say fairy tale? No, I was going to say something about Windbreaker being generic, but again, not trying to start that whole debate over, and also I don't really think that's true. I just didn't like season 1 the first time I watched it. Something to point out about Kenta is he gets labeled as a pervert in canon and then also by fans, right? But when you actually watch him, he's actually perfectly respectful of all of the female characters. Like, notice what happens in the scene. He doesn't say he's gonna go like propose to Momo. He doesn't say he's gonna go like steal her underwear or like ask her to marry him. He just says, oh, she must be dying to see me, right? And that's not like, you know, like a dirty thing. That's not like a, you know, being a creep thing. That's just like, Kenta is so into himself because he thinks he's the main character that like he's got to go see Momo because he's so like in his own world that he thinks like everyone is dying to see him all the time. That's all he's saying there, right? Which on the flip side is also just him saying like, oh, I care about Momo. I should go see her, but let me be like funny about it. Thank you, Animal Skins, for the donation. Much appreciated. Friendly reminder that if you have a pressing question or you just want to support the channel, you can always help out with a super chat. Excuse me. Anyway, I say this to say that Kenta is a refreshing twist on like the gag character, right? Like the pervert. When he's actually not a creep at all. He acts in a way that makes him get a certain reputation. That's for apologizing about earlier. You don't have to apologize, man. Just, you know, keep the conversation somewhat relevant. But I appreciate that. Thank you. OG, listen, just imagine typical battle shonen cliche, but every cliche is up to extreme, and it's absolutely the worst way it can go. Author is like really trying to make this as bad as possible. So basically this is the shonen version of Rent a Girlfriend, because Rent a Girlfriend is like every bad trope but like times 1,000. Excuse me. I love Kenta as a girl, so I'm really excited. I don't want to spoil it too much because it's not going to come out for a while, but I have a video in the works that's scheduled about Kenta, talking about how he's like a refreshing twist on a very specific type of character that has been in anime forever. And I think people are going to like it. I think some people are going to be upset because it's going to come off like I'm being an anime tourist, right? Like, anime is really creepy, and this is why new anime is better. But I think a lot of people are going to like it. I feel like Kinta's just trying to fit in a way, but don't know if that makes sense. The thing about Kinta is he's not a pervert, he's a nerd. So he does things that are in character for being a nerd that when it works, it makes him the coolest character in the series. And when it doesn't work, it makes him incredibly awkward. Like Exhibit A. Someone just got out of the hospital, basically, and a normal person would be like, oh, cool, they're okay, let's go visit them. He's like, oh, they must be dying to see me. I must go see Miss Ayase, right? Like, he can't just be normal about it, so he's got to be like an anime character about it, right? And that's what nerds do. They have to be nerdy about everything. And it works when you need someone to like thought project a giant mech, but when you need someone to like not be a JoJo character every 2 seconds, obviously Kinta drops the ball. Thank you to Vertigo for the $2 donation. Again, super appreciate it. Thank you so much. It really means a lot when you do that. Comparison of key visual, Clanad, Canon, Air, etc. Yeah, I'm with Mimi. What's Clanad, Canon, and Air? Could you be a little more specific? I really want to answer your question, but I'm not really sure what you're talking about. I feel like I know what Clanad is. So Clanad is an anime. Canon? And what's the other one? I mean, they all kind of look the same, if I'm being totally honest. Those are old anime, yeah, visual novel anime. Anime is done by Kyoto Animation, but they're based on visual novels. I mean, if I'm being honest, they all look the same, which makes sense because you just said they're all done by Kyoto Animation. I mean, they look good, but I don't really know. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have too much more to add to that. Little Busters is done by JC Staff. Well, I won't be watching that. Sorry, JC Staff, but you stink. Stink, stank, stunk, to quote the Grinch. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up about Kinta because I feel like Kinta is a very underappreciated character. Anyway, then we enter the Metal Gear Okarun chapter, where Okarun is channeling his inner Solid Snake, not trying to get caught by Momo, but also doesn't really know what he's doing. Kinta is a pervert, but he is too cool for people to care about it, and let's be honest, he is like one of the small perverts on pervert spectrum in the anime world. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, if you compare him to a character like, say, Master Roshi, like, goes to extreme lengths just to sniff people. Kinta's not doing anything like that. He just wants to, like, be a bachelor. Even if that's, like, not necessarily normal behavior, it's less worse than like the characters in Seven Deadly Sins who like walk up to 7-year-olds and are like, oh my god, that's the love of my life. That's like, Jesus, that's bad. Rent a Girlfriend sounds like the type of anime someone would make me watch during a torture session. The thing about Rent a Girlfriend is like it's like watching the Kardashians. Like it's like watching Jersey Housewives. It's so bad that it's actually good. The only thing is, it's just way too long. Like at this point, it's just insulting. I want to know what happened to Zuma. That's an excellent question that I hope gets answered soon. And now that you brought that up, I do feel like that just got brushed under the rug, especially when they made a point about like all the side characters, you know, counting on Zuma, right? And now like there's nothing. So I feel like we're focusing on Momo, and then once this gets resolved, or once we've addressed the present issue, then we'll go back to Zuma. I don't think Zuma's going anywhere, but that's a good point. I kind of forgot about Zuma. I think Mineta is a better example because he also goes to school. Well, truthfully, I didn't want to bring up Mineta just because in this video that I'm going to be posting in the near future, that's exactly the comparison I make. So I don't want to, like, for people who follow the channel and follow all the videos, I don't want to like basically say the whole video today so that like when you go to watch this video, you feel like you've already seen the video. But yes, I agree. I've got work, so I've got to head out, but I'll be listening. All right. Thank you, Aho Height. I appreciate that. Zuma got lost because he can't see for shit. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully he's all good now, but we'll see. Anyway, so Okarun channeling his inner Solid Snake. All he's missing is the cardboard box, the inconspicuous cardboard box in the middle of nowhere. Right? And then he literally says his name 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row in a very inconspicuous way. And basically the explanation we get is like Okarun had the courage, but every time he looks at Momo, he sees this face in his mind over and over again of Momo looking at him like he's a total stranger. Like she's never seen him before. And that's why he's getting nervous. Not necessarily because he's still insecure about Momo, but more like now that Momo doesn't have her memories, he doesn't really know how to approach the situation. And he also, like, he doesn't want to be put in that situation where he just feels like a total stranger. Like, he wants to fix things, but he also doesn't want this feeling of like everything they had is gone to feel real. So anyway, excuse me. Momo subverts expectations. We expect Okarun to be like big boy, put his big boy pants on and fix everything himself. Momo steps up to plate, explains that like she's noticed him the whole time. We get like we come back full circle of chapter 1. Okarun, they do all the like early Dandadan stuff. Excuse me. Momo takes an interest in Okarun. Excuse me, losing my voice here. She takes an interest in Okarun. The two fight. Okarun gets all nervous. Momo takes it. Instead of like letting him go, she like chases him, right? They start fighting. Momo crosses a boundary, immediately steps away and is like, oh, you know what? Sorry, my bad. Okarun says, I wasn't crying. Right? Clearly he was crying. So this is like, this is another reason why I didn't like this chapter at first, because it seems like a bit of character regression for Okarun, where he clearly is crying, and then when Momo says, oh, sorry, I made you cry, instead of just saying like, that's okay, he's like, I wasn't crying. It's like, ooh, that's not a good look. We got Shaheen in chat. How you doing, Shaheen? Excuse me. This is the panel everyone really liked in this chapter. Momo says, Gigi told me that you and I were good friends, and people take that to mean that like Gigi has grown from before and he is speaking up for Okarun. I don't completely agree with that. I still feel like Gigi is on his bullshit, but it does show that like he does recognize the pecking order, at least when it comes to Momo's romantic interests. Okarun is in chat. Bro, what are you doing? We just watched you totally fumble with Momo. You gotta go fix that shit, bro. What are you doing? Get out of stream. Go talk to Momo. What are you doing? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to chat. Go talk to Momo. Just kidding, Okarun. We're glad to have you. I feel like I've known you forever. Momo says, I felt a relief when I saw you, basically. All right? Probably because we're friends. If you have something... Excuse me. If you have something to say, then say it. This part was kind of weird. Okarun says, we weren't good friends at all, so you don't have to try to force it. There's no need for you to pay any attention to me. In order to become your good friend, I will make the effort. Please don't come talk to me. This time I'll be the one to come talk to you. So then Momo grabs him by the shoulders, face to face, look me straight in the eye. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on this chapter. It's a decent chapter. It's like six or 7. I like that Okarun is vulnerable in this chapter, but I feel like it's very hard to do what Tatsu is trying to do, because he's trying to relive the early stuff from the early Dandadan stuff, to like revisit that stuff and show how the characters have grown. But I feel like, especially after seeing today's chapter, it's kind of impossible to put those characters in that same position without having them experience a kind of character regression. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like Okarun was not the Okarun we've seen in the last couple of years. This Okarun feels like chapter 1 Okarun to me. Like, the fact that he's saying we weren't good friends, I kind of get what he's saying. Like, I don't know. It's a weirdly vague statement, if you ask me. Like, I don't really get what he's trying to say. And I also... What I don't like about this chapter is it feels like there's a bit of character regression, even if it is for the sake of character growth. But, at the same time, I like that Tatsu subverts expectations, and that, like, he sets us up to expect Okarun to be like big strong man, but by the end of the chapter, we end on the same note that Dandadan always ends on, which is it's never one character doing all the work. It's the two of them working as a team, which is perfectly embodied by Momo grabbing Okarun by the shoulders. Like, even when Okarun is trying to be the man, so to speak, Momo is like, okay, wait, hold on, wait a minute, sets him up and is like, okay, go, right? Like, she wants him to succeed. So she's doing the work so that he can do the work. It's truly, it's 50-50 isn't the right way to put it. It's truly like synergy. It's not just 50-50. It's the two of them working together make something greater is the perfect way to put it. Okarun said, no, you're right, I fumbled. Well, as long as you're honest about it. The panel with Okarun talking about Alien and they're running with Momo is funny. That was funny as hell, for sure. Momo only has feelings for Okarun. Yeah, I didn't like today's chapter at all. cool 7 for me. I don't know why Momo, even without her memories, still has to take the initiative. Well, again, it's like, this is what they do. No, I did not say 6-7. Cut that out. Enough of that. I don't even know what that meme is. I genuinely have no idea what that meme is. That is in development. Gigi always considered Okarun a good friend. So that's not anything new. If anything, Tatsu apologizes for a scene with Suma on the plane. That's what I mean, right? Like Gigi had a bit of, I thought, character regression in that scene with Zuma. So I guess that's a good way to put it. Definitely doesn't feel like the Okarun we've been following for the last 60 chapters. Yeah, that's what I want to say, but I feel like that's not entirely true. I just feel like this is like a out of character moment. We weren't good friends. I want to believe Okarun means they were lovers, which aren't the same as good friends, but he doesn't want to talk about it at the same time. That's the thing. It's like, it's too vague. Like, I'm all for like being vague for the sake of like being open to interpretation, but there's almost like zero context to what he says, because it almost feels like what he's saying is we were never friends because clearly we weren't close enough that like I can talk to you or you can talk to me. So which seems stupid at this point, because it was like 5 seconds ago that they were both saying how much they love each other, and now he can't even say they're good friends. It's like, it's a little too vague. Him going about this so awkwardly makes sense to me. It makes sense that he's being awkward, but like him being this insecure about it is a little out of character at this point. And like the quote about like them not being good friends also is confusing. Again, I like the chapter. I like the way it plays out. It's just certain vibes about it. I'm like, this doesn't feel like the Dandadan I've been reading. Okarun got emotional. That's why he seems different. Again, I'm not disagreeing with anybody. It's just my gut reaction is this feels like regression. But the more I read this chapter, the more I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to let him cook. I don't hate it. I swear to Kinta. OG, check what I said above. There's no one to punch to solve the issue this time, so I can see why this is such a different approach. What do you mean by that? As opposed to what? That phrase is implying that he's challenging himself to reach Momo this time, and he doesn't want Momo to feel compelled to talk to him. I get that, but like it's just confusing that he's saying like we were never good friends. It's like so what do you mean by that? I don't know, it's a weirdly vague statement. Okay, fair. That's fair. But yeah, that's all I have to say about today's chapter. Hopefully we stay on this plot and we don't cut to like other characters or like a B plot or something. I want this to play out to like whatever conclusion there is. If it takes longer than like 10 chapters, then that's fine. I don't mind taking a break, but I don't want to like, we end on this and then like next chapter we cut to like, I don't know, Vamola and Kinta going to 7-Eleven for a whole chapter. I don't know, something stupid. But we'll see. I do feel like there's a strong possibility we're going to cut to like something about the Black Paladins or something about Zuma or something about Seiko, but I don't know. We'll see. I like the headcanon that Seiko does Okarun's hair. I kind of get the feeling that Okarun is almost like a Saiyan, where like his hair just kind of does its own thing and like he never has to cut it. I don't know why, that's just my headcanon. Meanwhile, Vamola is just being Vamola this whole time and clones others' behavior. Yeah, that's what I love about Vamola. Like she's just vibing. She like puts her foot down when people are acting out of line, but like she really is just there chilling. Kenta and Vamola going to 7-Eleven. Hey, I want that. I want that, but time and place, right? Like not right now. It's like when you're in the middle of a fight or like you just found out someone died and somebody's like, hey, you guys want to go to McDonald's? Or like, you guys want to go to Starbucks? And you just look at them like, not now, not now. Like you like that stuff, but it's like not a good time. Chances we run into Count Saint Germain at school next chapter. 45%. 35% chance. I love Vamola. I need to do a Vamola specific chapter. I just don't know. Or a Vamola specific video. I did one with the Starfire thing. People didn't like that. They thought I was rage baiting. It is what it is. But I would like to do another one. I just don't know what it would be. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way of putting it. He has all this time of feelings while Momo has a blank slate for her. So he can't just approach her with that same familiarity. Yeah, I don't mind the awkwardness. Let me go through the chapter again and point out what made me not like it. So again, now that we talk it out and now that I can think about it out loud, the problems aren't as big of problems, but like instance one of like me having issues with the chapter was when he went to go see her and he like instantly turns away. But now that I see it and we've talked about it, makes perfect sense. The other instance I didn't like, and I don't really feel like there's a good explanation for this one. And it's definitely not a hanging offense, but it just feels weird to me, is when he cries and Momo is like trying to own up to it, like, my bad, dude, sorry. And instead of just being like, it's cool, he's like, I wasn't crying. It's like, it felt a little immature to me. Like, just, dude, she saw you crying. We weren't good friends at all, so you don't have to try to force it. There's no need for you to pay any attention to me. In order to become your good friend, I'll make the effort. I don't know. That just feels like, well, what the hell have we been doing if you guys were never good friends? It's a weirdly vague statement. I don't care that he's being awkward. I think it makes perfect sense. But him not just being able to say, oh, it's not a big deal, instead of like, oh, boy, I wasn't crying, feels out of character. And then the thing he says about not being good friends is like way too vague. It's like weirdly vague. It's like, well, what does that mean? Other than that, I think it's a good chapter. I think Tatsu does a good job of subverting expectations. So it's like a solid 6 or 7 for me. I said 6 or 7, by the way. Guys say that. Yeah, but like that's not an Okarun thing to say. Usually Okarun is like, you know, honest about his feelings. But like he's being like weirdly macho about the fact that Momo made him cry. Just let Tatsu cook. I can smell it. Listen, I'm not being a hater. I don't hate the chapter. It's just these were my gut reactions to things. Doesn't mean I don't like the chapter. It's just, I don't think it was perfect. I took it as him not wanting her to think she has to force a connection because of what they had, which is why he adds, you don't have to force it. The only thing I can smell is bread in Saint Germain Bakery. Bro, I want to go to that bakery. They seem like they have, as weird as the name of that bakery is, they seem like they make like nice, rich, buttery French bread, which is what I love. Italian bread is better, but French bread, very good. What does he say? We weren't good friends at all, so you don't have to try to force it. There's no, the only way I can really interpret that is like they weren't good friends because Momo was doing all the work, and if they were good friends, it would have been more 50-50 is the way I take it. And so they can only be truly good friends if Okarun can like pick up the slack. But that just feels like not true to me. I don't know. I guess I disagree with what he says, but I don't think that makes it bad. I just disagree. Anyway, that's all I have to say about today's chapter. Solid 6 or 7. Excited to see what happens next. Thank you everybody for another great discussion. Thank you to Skins and who else was it? I'm gonna find it. Thank you to Vertigo and Animal Skins for the donations. For a friendly reminder, it's a big way to help the channel. And also, if you have a burning question, highlights the question so I don't miss it. Also, make sure to check out today's video if you haven't already, talking about 2 of Dandadan's most underrated characters, Miko and Muko, and why Dandadan is side characters done right. Make sure to check it out. It's an awesome video. Until then, I'll see you guys Thursday. Thank you very much.